Greetings, YouTubers. I have compiled a list of likes and don't likes about the Nintendo Switch 2, and let's go ahead and start with the likes. Number 1, I love the big 7.9-inch screen. It has HDR, VRR, and most importantly, 120 FPS at 4K. The bigger screen will definitely be easy on these old eyes. However, I do think the OLED screen is still much better than the Switch 2 screen, judging by the videos I've seen on the device. I wish Nintendo kept the OLED screen because the LCD screen is a step down, at least for me. I guess they wanted to keep costs down and have a reason to sell us an upgraded Switch later down the line. I also like how Nintendo finally stepped into the world of 4K. Thank you, Nintendo. It's about time. Number 2, the Joy-Cons. I love the new Joy-Cons. Like, seriously, they look so much premium now. I always felt like the 2017 Switch was a prototype. The Joy-Cons were small, so were the buttons, and the analogs weren't the best. The plastic material and build design overall was very cheap. Both the Switch 2 Joy-Cons and buttons are significantly bigger, which are a huge step up in comfort and the right direction. I've also heard great things about the glide sticks that has me excited. I hope they are using the same sticks that are in the Pro 2 controller. Still though, I love the better build design and quality of the new Joy-Cons. They look like they will fit my big man hands perfectly. Excellent premium build quality. Points goes to you, Nintendo. Number 3, the bigger internal memory is definitely a welcome. 256 is still small, but that's really just shy of the quarter the size of the PC handhelds, which came standard with memory anywhere between 512 and 1 terabyte. Let's not forget that the Steam Deck LCD model launched with 256 gigs as well, with 512 being the highest at the time. Left players with a huge Steam library at the mercy of buying the more expensive 1 terabyte card. I will be opting for a 1 terabyte express card for my Switch 2 as soon as they are available. They're currently hovering around $180 to $200 if anybody wants to know how much they cost. That's pretty expensive. Number 4, the Pro Controller. The Pro Controller 2. Just like the Joy-Cons, I'm excited about the new glide sticks. I've been hearing great things about them, but my hands will be the final testament and judgment of that. I'm hearing the glide sticks are the best in the business. People that went to the Switch event have stated that these analogs are the best they have ever experienced. That is a very, very bold statement because I do like the resistant analogs on the PS5 DualSense controller, so we'll see. But from a distance, they look like the same old Pro controllers, but with closer inspection, they seem a little different. The top of the controller where the shoulder buttons are have a grayish color, which separates it from the black color controller itself, which gives it a two-toned color scheme. I like that. I pray the D-pad are much better than the original. I've heard that they are. That's a huge plus in my book. We also have the secretive C button on there as well. Yeah, I know. It's a chat button. We figured that out during the Switch 2 reveal trailer. I was going to skip these bad boys and just use the Pro controllers I already have, but I broke down and pre-ordered myself a pair due to the hype alone. I've heard that you cannot wait to switch up with the standard Pro controller. That's so dirty of you, Nintendo. Number 5, the build quality. The system build quality. Just like the Joy-Cons, the system now has a more premium look, design and build, except for the kickstand, at least in my opinion. Not too fond of the kickstand, but it seems like it won't be a problem. This is how the OG Switch should have looked. This thing looked like they put some serious thought and money into the build quality. Number 6, game share. I like how you can lend games to friends and family, but the feature is limited to 14 days. You can use one cartridge to share between several friends at once, Nintendo DS style, so everyone can enjoy multiplayer games with just one cartridge. How seamless this experience will be in practice is yet to be determined until we get our hands on there. 7. Cartridges. I love the fact Nintendo is still supporting physical media, at least for the moment, that is. We also get backwards compatibility, but I'm hearing Nintendo is having slight issues with this. We don't know if it'll be ironed out at launch. Will all games be upgraded with better visuals and performance? I sincerely hope so. If this is the case, playing my old Switch library on the Switch 2 has gotten me excited more than anything. Number 8. Better features. So Nintendo are using the latest Wi-Fi 6 technology, so expect faster connection and download speeds. The speakers and headphones are vastly improved with spatial audio. In short, expect vastly improved sounds. That is one of the major gripes I always had with Nintendo handhelds. Their sound quality were always low quality. Nintendo released a patch that improved the sound on the OG Switch, which had games sounding very loud, and I like that. Then they released another patch that canned the improvement, which made no sense. So here's hoping the new speakers are louder, clean, and crisp. The ROG Ally has the best sounds hands down to me. I hope the Switch 2 is as good as the sound quality of the ROG Ally. Also, I like the mouse feature as well. Seriously, people do not know how much of a game changer this is. It's so great to the fact that a lot of PC and Sony fans on YouTube are hating on this thing. They're just jealous that they actually work. The feature is baked into the system, so devs are forced to play around with them to see what works. First-person shooters should handle like a dream with this feature, and I can't wait to test them out. I've been hearing good things with these mouse controls with the Metroid Prime 4. Number 9, third-party support. Now this is the part everybody wants to hear. Every developer in their mother's name is on board with the Switch 2 train. True. Expect every game to come to the Switch. If it can't run, we'll make it run. That's the statement came straight from the horse's mouth, or should I say straight from the developers' mouths. Number 10, expect Switch 2 to be my main console just like the OG Switch before it. Switch was my main console last gen, and it looks like the next 8 years Switch 2 will continue that trend. Number 11, game over for the competition. Switch 2 is 4K. What more can I say? They will be getting heavy third-party support. What is a PS5 and Series X again? Now we're going to get into the dislikes. Oh boy, the dislikes. Well, number 1, here we go. The game key cards and the push to the all-digital future. Seems like the new Nintendo president is following the current industry DRM trends. I do not like it one bit. Gone is the old Nintendo saying. They march to the beat of their own drum. This whole digital thing is a problem because it less separates Nintendo from the competition while in fact becoming more like them, which in turn gives less incentive to buy a Switch over those PC handhelds. The Steam Deck can play all your games across multiple screws while Nintendo wants you to game on only one platform. Pretty pathetic and backwards if you ask me. Nintendo needs to reverse this. I miss the days of where you could play all your digital games across multiple switches without needing the internet. Nintendo has always been the last bastion for physical media, but it seems like they have one foot in the physical grave and one foot in the DRM space. Honestly, I never saw this coming. I hope cartridges get much cheaper for devs and or Nintendo can eat some of the costs when it comes to providing cartridges in bulk to developers. This should give developers more push to put games fully on cartridges. Nintendo needs to get rid of those game key cards. Developers should also be provided with incremental size cards in the formats 2, 8, 16, and 32 gig size like cartridges for the OG Switch. Larger size cards such as 100 gigs may even be needed, so developers won't have to compress their games and lose sound and image quality. Number 2, like it or not, digital games are up on us unless Nintendo makes mini Blu-ray discs that can hold enormous size of data in substitution of expensive cartridges. That is actually a good idea. You guys remember the PSP with the mini disc? It didn't hold a lot of gigabytes, but it was enough. It was sufficient for the games that developers wanted to make for the system. Number 3, bezels. I do not like the big bezels on the Switch 2 screen, but you know, if you take LCD TVs into consideration, years ago it always had a border around the screen itself, and OLED screens were the ones that barely have any borders, aka bezels. So I guess I can understand to an extent, but you know, they could have closed up the gap for the LCD screen on the Switch 2 and widened a little bit, which would have pushed it to 8 inches or better. Number 4, another cause of concern, battery life. I do not like the 2-hour battery life, but it's a lot better than the White Rock Ally that only lasts 45 minutes, maybe an hour if you're lucky, with playing games like Gears 5 and many other AAA titles on very, very low settings, which would defeat the purpose of the handheld anyway, being that it's a PC handheld and you can play PC games on there. Nintendo should have at least opted for a 40-watt battery, which would have at least given us 4 hours of battery life. Here's hoping a third-party accessory maker has a battery upgrade option for Switch 2 to prolong the battery life. JSOX currently has a battery upgrade kit for the White Model Rock Ally that accommodates a 65-watt battery, which pushes the battery life, of course, to more than 45 minutes. I hope JSOX or a third-party company can release a similar kit upgrade for the Switch 2. Number 5, expensive games. Games are expensive now thanks to tariffs. Just when people thought Nintendo was being greedy by selling Mario Kart for $80 and other high-price games, well, it turns out that tariffs are to blame. Nintendo was just the first to be hit by these tariffs, and they are the first out the gate with a next-gen console. Sony and Microsoft followed suit after by upping their games actually to $80, as well as raising their console prices. I don't hear anybody complaining though, but somehow haters were loud, very loud, when it came to Nintendo announcing high-priced games, like they intentionally wanted to sell high-priced games. I smell hypocrites. Number 6, it may be hard to find a Switch 2 this year, despite the large shipment Nintendo promised. I wonder if Switch 2 will be harder to find than the OG Switch was. Some people, it took them 2 to 3 years to find a Switch in store. Crazy times. Number 7, Switch 2 will be my last console due to heavy DRM. I made a video on this, and if you guys and gals haven't seen that video, you can actually go watch it on my channel where I spoke about this in more detail. The all digital future and where video games are headed is definitely not for me. And greedy corporations have found a way to ruin my favorite pastime that I have been doing since the 90s. It was fun while it lasted though. Even Nintendo is succumbing to these shady practices. They're just taking baby steps into that direction, but only the future would tell. We'll see what happens in the next 2-3 years if cartridges become cheaper and more developers start putting their games on full-size cartridges. Only time will tell. So my whole overview of this list that I've comprised, in spite of the good, the bad, and the ugly, I'm still looking forward to the Switch 2. I'm excited to replay Tears of the Kingdom in 4K at 60 FPS, and I will be enjoying the Switch 2 when it launches. I will see you guys in the GameStop pickup line. Please look forward to my live launch pickup vlog. I'm going to make sure I record every moment because this may be the last big launch we'll ever see going into this all digital future. Peace out, and don't forget to like and subscribe. Any comments, just go ahead and leave them below in the comment section. And happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there. Red Crimson Gaming signing out.